How's it going, everybody? My name is Noah Holley, and welcome back to another episode of the Pride Report. Today, I'm joined alongside once again by Sean Bock. Sean, how are we doing today?
Good, Noah. It's been a great day at college hoops, great weekend of college hoops. Can't complain. How have you been?
I've been doing great. Thank you for asking. All right, so tonight we're going to be recapping the Big Ten tournament, which at the time of recording has just concluded. The Michigan Wolverines were crowned conference champions for the second year in a row after a truly great weekend of basketball in Madison Square Garden. Michigan topped Purdue 75-66 behind 17 points from Mo Wagner, the eventual tournament MVP. The game was tight early on before the Wolverines pulled away early in the second half. Now, it may not have been as dramatic as it was a year ago, but Michigan's championship run this time around was nevertheless rich with storylines. There's a lot to get to with this group, who has asserted themselves in the national championship mix over their 9-game winning streak. We'll get to the NCAA tournament outlook for this team in a minute, but first I want to get your thoughts, Sean, on Michigan's performance this week.
Well, yeah, it's kind of deja vu from last year when this Michigan team really turned it on in the Big Ten tournament. Call it motivation or destiny after the plane crash, but whatever, this team didn't have any of that this year, but they came in red hot. Not sure how many games they've won in a row, but I'm pretty sure it's like 8 or 9 at this point. They've just been playing their best ball this season. John Beilein knows how to make his team turn up late in the season. The Big Ten title was great last year, Big Ten champs, like I said, but they want to go a little farther than 216 this time. 4 games in 4 days is no easy task. Some of the guys that stood out for me: Muhammad Ali, Abdul Rahman, Xavier Simpson, and John Teskey really played well this weekend. Abdul Rahman, he had 15 points a game, played his best games against Nebraska and Michigan State as he tallied 21 points and 15 points. And Xavier Simpson, too, kind of playing that backup point guard rolling away. He had 12.3 points and 4 assists while only turning the ball over around 2 times per game. He can step it up on the defensive end and force turnovers. He had 2 steals in the game against Nebraska and Purdue. Who are some of the top point guards, our most consistent point guards in the league, with Glenn Watson and P.J. Thompson. Like I said, like we touched on before, Noah, guards are the most important piece in the NCAA tournament. These 2 guys, Abdul Rahman and Simpson, can take their team a long way. It would be a tough backcourt to crack if Jordan Poole can become a consistent threat on the offensive end. And finally, with Teskey, obviously he plays a backseat role to Mo Wagner. He stepped up. He played great today against Purdue. Down the first half, dropped 14 points overall. If Wagner is going to get in foul trouble, the Wolverines are going to be a really tough team. The Wolverines are going to need Teskey to step up like he did against the Boilermakers, play at a high level. I mean, if he can produce like he did, not just scoring the ball, but getting valuable minutes and doing things on the court that are irreplaceable, like all the garbage stuff and all that good shindigs, then Michigan will be a really tough team to beat. And, this weekend really impressed me. 4 games in 4 days, not an easy task. The Big Ten may not be as tough as it's been in years past, but, man, this team really turned it on and really impressed me throughout this whole weekend.
All right, now I want to talk a little bit about Michigan's outlook the rest of the way, because not only is this one of the hottest teams in the country, this is one of the best teams in the country. The Wolverines play better defense than any John Beilein Michigan team I can remember, which combined with their highly efficient offensive scheme and their tremendous toughness makes them one of the toughest teams to beat in all of college basketball. Sean, do you envision Michigan making a deep run in the NCAA tournament this year?
That's a good question. I could give you the cop-out answer and say I'm going to wait till the matchups are revealed. So let's just use Joe Lunardi's hypothetical. According to Lunardi, Michigan's the number 5 seed and will play the winner of number 12 Louisville versus USC. Which, man, that would be a hell of a round of 64 matchup.
Yeah.
Yes, like the 5-12 is the most common upset, but even teams like Louisville and USC, who, especially with Louisville, had all that stuff going with Rick Pitino at the beginning of the year, been playing well. Might have say more. They were like a projected like top 20 team coming in the season, but then all that stuff went down. And then USC, who's had their own turmoil this season. There's still a lot of basketball to be played from now until Selection Sunday, so who knows at this point. Both of those projections on their seeding or drop out of the tournament, or even Michigan can improve or drop on the team depending on how other teams do. So I'm not going to make a prediction on how far they can go.
All right.
But if I had to make a guess, I'd say they're definitely a second weekend team.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Final Four is kind of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe a small scenario depending on the matchups and stuff like that, that they can make it there. But they definitely have their pieces just work so well together, and it kind of makes me hard to bet against them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if their guards like Abdul Rahman and Simpson are playing at a high level, then they're a really tough team to beat. And if they can get those guys going along with Jordan Poole and even Charles Matthews, who played decently well in some games in the Big Ten tournament, then man, I would not want to see this team in March. So if I had to make a prediction, I would say the Elite Eight is the ceiling. And if I had to make a safe bet, I'd definitely say the Sweet 16 sounds like a reasonable destination for them.
All right, final question in regards to Michigan. Now, there is a prolonged layoff from now until the NCAA tournament for these guys as the Big Ten tournament was moved back a week. We're talking 10 or 11 days until the Wolverines play again. Sean, how do you think this is going to affect them in the Big Dance, if at all?
Well, with any other team, I'd say I'd be kind of concerned because, coming out flat and stuff, as we saw with, like we talked about earlier, in an earlier episode, we talked about how the buys really bother some teams because, they have a day off. They're kind of like touring the city, whatnot. And the other team, the team that they're expected to play the next day is playing a ball game. And they're already ready to go, hyped up. They know what to expect. 2 weeks, that's definitely a lot of time. I'm sure John Beeline, being the master he is, will come up with some plot to get his team ready. So, like I was saying before, I feel confident with John Beeline in this break more than any other coach in the country. Coach K, he knows how to get his kids ready, but they're all freshmen. This team is kind of a veteran group. So, with John Beeline at the helm and the veterans that they have on this team, I really think the 2 weeks will be great for them because they'll have time to rest up. John Beeline, a freaking master when it comes to game plan and at the end of the year, NCAA tournament. So if I'm a Michigan fan, I wouldn't worry too much about it just because Beeline. And I think these veteran guys are responsible enough to know that we have these 2 weeks prepared. We need to quit it with all the stuff that goes on outside the basketball court. Keep the tunnel vision and just stay focused for up until we play.
All right, let's move on from the Michigan talk and discuss some of the other tournament-bound Big Ten teams. Starting with Purdue, the Big Ten tournament runner-up, the Boilermakers had a very interesting week in New York. It started with a serious scare from Rutgers, followed by a considerably more comfortable semifinal victory over Penn State, and concluded, of course, with the loss to Michigan. It obviously wasn't the outcome that Purdue hoped for, but nevertheless, I like this team's chances to make noise later this month. This is a very deep team that is potent on both sides of the ball. I worry about their struggles on the boards a little bit, but that's the only noticeable weakness. But I'll get to you, Sean. What are your thoughts on Purdue's performance this weekend, and what could we expect from them in the NCAA tournament?
Well, until, take out the end of the Penn State game, I think this Purdue team really played down to the level of competition throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
They barely got by Rutgers. They let Penn State hang around a little longer until the end, and they looked absolutely flat against Michigan.
Yeah.
And the major red flag that I kind of waved in the Michigan game was the Edwards duo couldn't find a groove on the offensive end. The two leading scorers weren't at the top of the game, and that's the main reason why their team lost. Vince Edwards looked really good against Rutgers, but averaged 5.5 points against Penn State and Michigan. And this is kind of a concerning thing, too. Matt Painter said post-game that the reason Vincent didn't play in the final minutes was he didn't have any energy, which is something that can't be a common trend if he wants to help his team make a run. And another thing I don't understand is this is a direct quote from Matt Painter on his team's energy as a whole. I think it was something about, did your team come ready to play? And he said, not really. You've got to have a better first half, and you got to have a better start. We are very fortunate to be down in the half. And this team wasn't ecstatic or pumped up for a conference championship in front of a sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden. That is just flat out ridiculous. It baffles my mind how that's a problem. If they show up like that in the NCAA tournament, they probably won't get past the first weekend. But overall, I think Purdue is very good as a team, and I think the long break is going to benefit them, definitely. A long season can take a toll on a team. They need as much rest as possible for the NCAA tournament. I'm not really sold on Matt Painter as a X's and O's coach. I think there's some puzzling game plans he has and substitutions maybe, but I think with 2 weeks, it'll let them take a deep breath, relax, and really get ready for the task at hand, which is the NCAA tournament.
All right, let's wrap up this show by talking about Michigan State. Now, the Spartans' chances at a 1 seed were ended on Saturday with the loss to Michigan. Seeding aside, however, there is no doubt in my mind that Michigan State is national championship material. But how about we get your thoughts, Sean, on the Spartans showing this week and what could be in store for them in the big dance?
Yeah, I mean, once again, another team that kind of played down to the level of their competition. Wisconsin almost beat MSU a week ago and came into this game with no pressure and just wanted to get revenge on Sparty. And, I mean, overall, Michigan State did a better job of limiting the turnovers in the tournament, which has been a real struggle for them this whole year. But they just couldn't find any consistency from the field. They struggled to hit big-time shots. Ran into a buzzsaw of Michigan who you could just tell wanted it more than they did. Nick Ward was pretty quiet in both games. Miles Bridges and Cassius Winston seemed to be really the only guys who could carry the team and were relied on most of the heavy lifting. And I think the double bye really hurt MSU. They came out flat against Wisconsin, who played the day before and knew what to expect. And just against Michigan, too, they were kind of like, oh, all right, whatever. It's a Big Ten tournament. We're already solid in the field. It doesn't really matter. So Tom Izzo has to take his guys, get them in the film room, kind of tear them apart a little bit and build them back up. They got to realize that they got to get their eyes off the Final Four. They got to take it one game at a time in the NCAA tournament. Right now, they having this mentality coming into the games that, oh crap, we're Michigan State. We're gonna run through these guys because we're projected national champions at the beginning of the year. They're gonna lose, maybe even first weekend, because we've seen they're projected number 2 seed right now. We've seen the 15-2 upset. I mean, I'm not saying it's probable, but anything can happen in the NCAA tournament. And if they don't have that mentality that, hey, we need to take it play-by-play, attack, we're going to have a target on our back throughout the tournament because we were picked preseason champs, then they just need to get that in their heads and realize that their opponent's going to bring it every night, and they just need to come out ready to play. And if they do that, then I just have a hard time seeing them not in the Final Four. But if they play like they did in the Big Ten tournament with kind of lackadaisical, lazy, not really motivated to get the job done, then I don't see them making the Sweet 16.
Yeah, if you remember, they have actually lost to a 15 seed as a 2 seed before, and that was a year where we all thought they were just going to roll through. I think that they're one of the safest bets for the Final Four. You never know. Anything can happen in March, but that is going to do it for today's episode of the Pride Report. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back all week long with new episodes. However, that is right. Every day from today to Selection Sunday, you can expect a brand new episode of this show. So be sure to subscribe and to turn post notifications on if you want to be instantly alerted when your daily college basketball fix has been uploaded. Also, be sure to follow Sean on Twitter at Sean__Bock. A link will be in the description. While you do all that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Sean, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, for sure. It was a great time, as always. All right, I'm out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.